Everybody, it's the Badass Records podcast where we talk about you and some of your favorite music. New episodes come out Thursdays. Follow the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Badass Records Podcast at gmail.com if you'd like to do an in-person episode with me. It's Badass Records Podcast at gmail.com. If you hit the site, badassrecordspodcast.com, make sure you click on the merch tab. And you can find everything from stainless steel tumblers to coffee mugs to beanies, baseball caps, long sleeve tees, short sleeve tees, hoodies, stickers, and an assortment of custom tees that we have had made. So appreciate you stopping by. Hope you enjoy the show. So let's see here. Barring any oddness, this would be episode 80 of Badass Records podcast, and Duke Ross hanging with. How's it going? Right?
It's going good. Yeah.
Is that? Are you just two syllables altogether?
Yeah. First name's Robert.
Okay. Okay.
And I tried 1 year in high school to go by Bob Ross, but that was
just a happy little tree.
Right. Yeah. That was. Yeah. So I went back. Everybody was like, "Who's that?" So
yeah.
I just went back to Duke.
So where did that come from?
Well, for the longest time, I didn't know for sure, but I heard from one of my sisters one time. She was talking to somebody else and said it was a Ducati motorcycle my dad had.
Oh, okay. So, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
he just said that was what he was going to call me. So the doctor was like, put on his birth certificate.
Nice.
So
nice.
That's what happened.
So we connected. It's almost been 2.5 years ago. You posted in the Casey Deadheads Facebook group that you were selling Casey Deadhead stickers. Right.
Yep.
And I got a couple of those from you. That was super fun. They're fantastic.
Yeah, they're great stickers.
And I think at the time I wanted to get more than a couple, and you were like, "Oh, let me do another batch."
Yeah.
What does that process look like?
Well, it's just basically getting on Sticker Mule and sending your image in and having them make it and send it back to you.
Okay.
I just got to get it done again.
So you get them, and then if somebody hits you up, you got to go mail them.
No, and I carry some with me in my truck.
Nice.
Excuse me. And if I see a Deadhead sticker on a car, I'll hold mine up out the window or something.
Cool.
Or walk up to them and I've seen them in parking lots and just left them on the windshield and things like that.
Nice. So are you born and raised KC?
Yes.
Okay.
I had 3 years whenever I was little out in California.
Okay.
Everything else has been here in Kansas City area.
Right on.
Summit and Raytown.
Okay. And siblings?
Yes, I have everybody's older. I'm the baby.
Okay.
Family, which is the best one to be.
Yeah.
And I have an older brother and 2 older sisters.
Okay. And any idea how mom and dad met?
Well, the story I heard was that my dad was out with a buddy of his and went to a diner down in Carthage, and Carthage or Jasper, actually. Jasper, Missouri. And the waitress was in there, and my dad was like, I'm going to marry that girl. And it was my mom. So,
Seriously?
So that's what happened.
That's awesome. Yeah. So let's see here. So were they folks that put on music in the home when you guys were little, or?
No, not really. I mean, we had some music going and a lot of old country.
Okay.
Like Charlie Rich and, Johnny Cash.
Nice.
Those guys.
Okay.
So that was from them. And then I remember one time my sister had a friend over and they were learning disco dances.
Nice.
In the living room.
Yeah.
I mean, so I've always had music somewhere.
Cool.
And a lot of it's been just classic rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, I've gone through country stage.
Okay.
And gone through the not really hip hop, but pop music,
sure,
so to speak.
Yeah. And was there an album? I mean, did the Baby of 3 total?
4.
4. Okay. And did they all have collections of their own? Did they?
Oh, we had a massive collection of records.
Okay.
They were just always in the shelves. I
And
mean, every once in a while one would get pulled out and played, but most of the time they were just sitting up there.
okay. Was there a particular album that you either fell in love with at a young age, or was a first purchase or a starter to your collection?
Well, let's see. I think probably my first purchase was, it might have been the Hysteria,
Oh,
Def Leppard.
nice.
I mean, I had a bunch of stuff just in the house
Yes.
already.
Okay.
So I think it might have been the one.
Okay.
And I told all of my friends I was hanging out with, I was like, this album's going to be a killer. This is gonna blow up.
Before we were rolling, I mentioned what a great list you gave me, but I was most excited about that one.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just song after song,
Yeah.
just power and
how about first show?
first show. I went. I don't know if it was first, but pretty early. One of my first ones was Tim McGraw. Actually,
Oh, okay.
I took my wife to see Tim McGraw
Okay. Was that
at the time.
recentish or?
No, that was
Okay.
that was long. That was his Jason Aldean opened for him, so that's a little bit of a reference of how long ago it was.
Wow. What's
Yeah.
what's this? What is the small town? Try that in a small.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh,
I just
it's
see memes and I've never like read anything.
Well, the thing is, he's talking about all the stuff going on, and try that in a small town. You're not going to get very far down the road.
all
so-
what stuff going on?
Just the the protests, and all that
Okay. Okay.
fringe. They showed a lot of mob, not really like mob mentality
Yeah. Yeah.
things, and riots and stuff.
Okay.
And they're saying just try that in our town, and
Uh-huh.
I think it's blown out
Of
a little
proportion.
bit.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just,
Yeah.
I mean,
Silliness.
people just get so
Take anything and run with
anything.
it. Right.
It's just everything is so that hurts my feelings. So what? It's
That's awesome.
my feelings were hurt a lot.
Yeah. Right. But I
But
didn't.
what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
You
You didn't see me on the corner with a megaphone on a
Right.
milk crate.
Exactly. You just cry about it.
So would that have been? I mean, was whenever that was he big? Was that like an Arrowhead kind of?
No, it was actually what would become the Sprint Center.
Okay.
Or no, that was or was that? Now I'm trying to think about it. What was the other one before?
Oh gosh.
Sprint Center?
Memorial, Municipal,
I think it was in Municipal.
T-Mobile, Verizon. No, it was never Verizon. Anyway,
It was
good.
it was one of the places downtown. It was
Sure.
downtown, and I don't.
Good time
It
though.
wasn't. Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah.
it was a great show.
But
I
you're-
loved Tim McGraw. I mean,
But you're
it was-
married at that time. You didn't nothing
Yeah.
when you were in high school or middle school.
No, I mean I kind of remember a band coming to the high school
Okay.
and playing. I think it was Free Fair or Fanfare or something.
Interesting.
Like that. It was a weird deal.
So you didn't get into concerts at all until
No,
later in life.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I pretty much out of high school got married,
Okay.
and then kids and
Sure.
all that stuff.
Life.
Didn't really travel too much or anything to go
Right.
to shows, and then divorce happened. And
Okay.
I met my new wife.
Okay.
and she was the deadhead from
Nice.
1989. So
Right.
she slowly introduced me into it. And
So
she
are you
didn't wanna
guys-
spring it all at once?
Right. I mean,
So
are you guys roughly the same age?
yeah.
Okay.
She's just a couple years younger than I am,
Right on.
and I just wasn't exposed to that part
Totally.
of music, the jam band stuff.
Yeah, my dad had some 8-track. They split when I was 5, 6. He had some 8-tracks, and it was like Oak Ridge Boys and John Denver and
Right on.
some kid like the Muppets and Sesame Street and
Yeah.
and then my mom, we just had 71 WHB, the oldie station.
Oh, yeah.
It's all the
610.
time. And then eventually classic rock for me, and I became like a big nerd student,
Right.
and unfortunate. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter, but Skeletons from the Closet was a a purchase that I made
Yeah.
either at the music store or via Columbia House or being one of these, and it was I don't know, somewhere along the way it occurred to me that was a band that I should check out.
Right.
And I have plenty of opinions about greatest hits compilations. Some are amazing and must-haves. Like
Right.
somebody not too long ago had Timepieces, Best of Eric Clapton, which is
How,
I mean,
could be a 10-volume issue.
right. As much as I love all of the studio albums from Bob Marley, Legend is also incredible. But Skeletons from the Closet is dog shit, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's got like Truckin' and Casey Jones and Sugar Man. I mean, it's just, I was like, what's the, and also Touch of Grey was coming out, and it was like, these don't feel like the same.
The gray heads, as my wife calls them.
Right.
Those are the ones that just know that song.
Right. Yeah.
I knew it too. I was like, and I saw the video. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. It was a good song, but
yes,
it wasn't one of those things that got me.
So it wasn't until a year or freshman year of college where I was like, oh, now I get it. Okay.
Right.
But a minute ago, we were talking Dead and Company. And you said 17?
Yeah.
Where was that?
Wrigley Field.
Wrigley. Okay.
7117.
Okay.
17. That's kind of a good.
Yeah.
It's a good number.
I did. Let's see. Maybe 17, 18, 19. Or it was a 3-year run, and it was 2 nights, Folsom Field in Boulder. And I was like, I don't know, this John Mayer cat's going to have to... All I know is a couple of pop tunes, and we'll see. And I mean, first song, I was like, oh, shit.
That was me at Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
I was just like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Like you said, you had the poppy stuff that...
Yeah.
And if it comes on, you listen to change the station.
Right.
But... man, when he gets, and this last tour was just, he was, smoking the whole time. It was
I'm glad you mentioned that. I don't remember him at any of those shows that I saw wearing headphones, but he was wearing them like full all the time this tour.
Yeah, that was the last, I think it started last tour.
Okay.
He started wearing them, and he said he could hear the band better.
I was wondering if it's him or that he's listening to, or the band.
And also his hearing is kind of, like everybody else that's out there on those big speakers going all the time.
Right.
It was kind of more, it was to protect the hearing a little bit, but he also hear the band better.
Right. Well,
so that was...
I had opportunities to continue seeing them in Boulder, but their tickets aren't cheap. And they were always like Friday, Saturday, right around 4th of July. And so it's you're getting U.S. Blues and one more Saturday night on Saturday. And
just, there was one show my wife and I walked out of. They played the encores one more Saturday night. We're just like, let's go.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't trade 6 nights total.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't trade.
No.
But they weren't. By year 3, I was like, they're not really folding more of the discography into the... It's kind of like you're getting Brown Eyed Women and China Rider.
A little bit more limited than what the Dead was.
Right,
sure.
But still super amazing.
But the thing is, I mean, most of those are the bigger.
Right.
The bigger ones.
And then, a lot to do at the Boulder shows this year. I mean, you get Dave Matthews coming out and doing All Along the Watchtower and the drones, and it seemed like the band was and the fans were really jazzed.
Oh yeah,
this summer.
That's a great place to see a show.
Yeah,
we were there for the Hailstorm.
Okay,
it was the only show we ever bought floor seats for.
Oh wow!
And we got down in there and it started raining, so I went over and got a trash bag from one of the concession stands over there, so she had something to protect her from the rain. And then they left off stage and we're like, oh great, now what? So then they were like, okay, everybody evacuate the stadium. We're like, there's 75,000 people here, where are we gonna go?
Right. What show was this?
It was Boulder. I can't remember what day it was.
Oh, but it was this summer.
Yeah, it would have been was it 18?
Oh, okay.
But the thing was, they told everybody to get off. They told me to get off stage. Well, everybody was like, "It's only rain. It's only raining." Well, they didn't know that the hail was coming. So about halfway through the rain, they're like, "Okay, evacuate the stadium." So we're, like I said, on the floor. So now we got to walk up all these steps and all this, and everybody's trying to get out.
Yeah.
And about probably 15, 20 steps into it, the hail starts coming down.
Oh my!
And you could hear it like whistling coming down. I mean, they were almost quarter-sized chunks. It was.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was.
That'll cut you.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. So then about an hour and a half. I think it was about an hour and a half delay, and then they came out and played for 3 hours straight.
Oh, okay.
And
that sounds familiar.
It was such a good show.
Nice.
And like I always tell everybody, I said I've never been that wet and okay with it.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, my pants were sagging.
Yep.
My wallet was wet for like a week and a half. I mean, it was just, it was one of the best shows.
That's cool.
So yeah, it was a good time. And then there was we had an Airbnb.
Yeah.
And we went back and were staying we talked to the lady that was there the next day, and she was like, "Yeah, my friends were at the show, and they just left whenever they went off stage." And I said they missed
Big
the killer
time.
show.
Wow.
So
yeah, that was the other piece of it. For many years, and I actually just got home from Colorado today with kids. Right. Lived out there for about 7 years, and for many years I was for a little bit I was in Estes, right by Boulder, but for a good bit I was in Durango, which, if you only stop for gas and to pee, is 16 hours. And I could do it no problem,
Yeah.
Now, I mean, and by now, I mean, here within the last 15 years, I'm splitting that up and sleeping,
Oh, yeah.
in a hotel. Anyway, so, like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to even... I know people talk trash on it. I love the KC to Denver drive. I think Kansas is beautiful.
Just
It's
at night,
flat,
you just go
nothing
through
to see. But
You just go through at night. That's all.
I like it either way. But I also don't want to lose, half a day each way. So for those shows, flying out, Airbnb, Ubering around, expensive show tickets, $18 beers. It's, all of a sudden it's like a $2,000 weekend. You're like, I am not that well off to be just, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it.
No, I get you. And we save up when we know we're going.
Of course.
We always get we just rent a rental car.
Yeah.
I drive all day anyway. So
right.
being a tow truck, it's not that big a deal for
okay.
me to drive.
Yeah.
So, we've driven, it was, I think 2 summers, was it 19 or 20? Sorry.
It's okay.
She, we met some people at Pitts. We had some friends take us to Pitts, playing in the sand.
And
we
Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a whole experience by itself.
I bet.
Standing on the beach with the stage on the beach and the water. It's awesome. But so we met some people that lived they lived right outside of Deer Creek in Noblesville.
Okay.
So we went up, stayed the night with them, got up the next morning, went to Cincinnati for a show.
Wow.
Stayed the night at Airbnb, went back to their house the next day. Next day, got up, came to St. Louis for a show, stayed at Airbnb, went back, went to Deer Creek the next day.
Oh, my.
And then went to Chicago for 2 shows. So like 2,300 miles, 5 shows? Yeah, 5 shows in like 8 days or 10 days. It was awesome. It was like the best experience.
I bet.
It was so much fun. And
wow.
the thing was, we had their place in Noblesville that we could bounce back and forth from.
Okay,
So
kind of a home base.
Yeah, and that
nice.
kind of helped. But yeah, it was too much fun.
That's cool. Well, so the other thing about Dead and Company, this is the final tour, blah blah blah. But I mean, there's already stuff cropping up, is there not? I mean, it's like
there's rumors.
Right.
There's rumors about Pitts 24.
Maybe that's what I saw. Okay.
So, but if they do, they better be 2 weekends because the first one's gonna sell out before they even get a chance.
Right.
They did the last time when they canceled. Yeah.
That was that
20. That was the COVID.
COVID.
Year.
Okay. That's what I was thinking.
The thing was, people were landing on that first weekend. People landed and didn't know it was canceled.
Oh man.
We were the original, or what would end up being the second weekend, and we're like, we're gonna go ahead and go. We got a place. It's all reserved.
Right.
Plane tickets are paid for.
Right.
So But
Cool.
we just went down and had a week of sitting in the pool drinking beers.
Nice. I mean,
It was
no
funny. This
complaints
guy
there.
walked by. I was sitting there. I had Jack and Cokes, and guy walked by. Goes, "How's it going?" I said, "It's the middle of January. I'm sitting in a heated pool drinking Jack and Coke till I can't anymore. I'm doing okay."
Yeah, everything's good. Nice. I coincidentally, my old roommate from Durango actually just sent me a podcast. Rick Rubin is doing a podcast, and he just had. I didn't know he was doing one. I want to do a little deeper dive into it, but he just had Mayer on, and it was incredible. I mean, they gush a little bit, and it's like they might both be trying to impress one another, but overall the content was phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
And I just really appreciate not only his talent but his commitment to becoming a student of the band's music, and then you know, I don't want to say mastering it, but putting his own spin on a very a collection of very nice renditions, and also being humble enough to recognize that like this is way bigger than me, you know. It's
that's like he was talking in one of the shows. He was talking about how he's gotten to the place where he can play, and then if he wants that somebody else go, they'll let them go, and it'll just be rhythm.
Nice, yeah,
and
yeah.
They'll just, I mean, they've gotten to that point where they can just come in and out or whatever, and it's just so good. I hope they come back as something.
That right,
you know. So does my wife. She's heartbroken.
So that first year that we were at Folsom Field, it's like I obviously knew Mickey and Bobby and Billy, and knew of O'Teal, and of course knew Mayer, but I didn't know anything about Jeff Chimenti. And we were, I mean, not front row on the, but you know, second or third, but both nights. And I was like, this dude is insanely talented. Why is he not turned up?
Right.
He's too in the mix. He's too quiet. So we joked, and then again, this is like 16, 17, somewhere in there, about making shirts that said "Turn Jeff Up," and I just had that shirt made like 4 or 5 months ago, and you can get it on badassrecordspodcast.com.
Right on.
But and I threw it into the couple of the Facebook groups, and like a lot of people liked it, and a lot of people are also like, he sounds pretty good. And he has been turned up. So I'm like 7 years late in making the shirt, but I actually hired a dude who does caricatures for hire, and he drew a picture of Jeff's face. Nice. So that's on. Anyway,
right on.
I like Jeff a lot. Not only his ability, but he seems like he just like oozes good dude vibe.
Oh yeah,
and it's always smiling.
Yeah, and that's the thing. One of the things we noticed is that he's been turned up.
Yeah,
or he's been running more shows. He's been like more songs. He gets in and plays a little bit longer.
Sure,
or something like
that.
And we were watching. I know it probably won't translate, but we were watching the show the other night, and it was the St. Louis show, and he was playing "It Hurts Me Too."
Okay,
and my wife turned to me after that was over, and she goes, "I think I'm pregnant." But we were watching it back, and at one point Jeff's playing, and John's getting ready to take over, and he goes like that to John. I mean, Jeff was like, "Oh yeah."
Nice.
It was like he made that face, like, "Oh, this is killer, man."
Yeah,
but
nice.
Yeah, it's cool to see. I mean,
for sure. Well, if I didn't say it already, I really appreciate you being here.
No, I appreciate you inviting me, man.
Well,
this is new and exciting,
right?
For me. Something
same here. I mean, like,
well, yeah, but you've done a lot more podcasts. This is the first time I've been podcast,
but nevertheless, it's the way some things are today. I mean, to even engage or interact with a total stranger.
Oh, sure.
And then to commit to, yeah, I'll come over and do it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
cool, and I'm always very grateful. So,
Well, no, I appreciate that.
so you were kind enough to send me a list, which I've already mentioned was fantastic, and I
A lot
typically
of oldies.
will take what I'm given and rearrange it in chronological order of release. But you included dates, and it was all that right there for me. So we'll start with 1980, Queen the Game,
Yeah.
which you had. So you gave me your 5, and then you threw one on. Somebody that was on a recent episode had Queen the Game and pulled it off and subbed it for something else.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like 2 episodes ago or something
Huh.
like that. And I ran out of time, so I didn't put track listing on any of
okay.
these printouts. But nevertheless, when my folks split and my mom almost immediately remarried, and then he was immediately transferred. So we were gone like from KC to Atlanta, and we had a very small vinyl collection. The dude that she married had more and a system, and a record that we had at the time was called Hot Tracks, and it was just this compilation of
Right.
hits, and it's like Michael Cimbello Maniac is on there, and Mexican Radio.
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
Yeah. King
That
of
was-
Pain by the
yeah.
Police. I've got a copy of it. I'll show it to you. But I'm pretty sure that side 2 started with Mr. Roboto by Styx. And I want to say there was a Queen track on there too. But anyway, it was like right in that time that I first heard Queen, and it was like, I don't know that I had much of an opinion on their music per se, but they were definitely like quickly identifiable by their sound and
Yeah.
Freddie's voice and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I've actually never sat down and listened to a Queen album until now. There's a lot happening on this one. It's 8 of 15
Yeah.
for them, 10 tracks, 35 minutes. Play the Game as the lead off. Another one, Bites the Dust, track 3.
Right.
Crazy Little Thing Called Love. All very well known tunes, but
Sure.
track 2, Dragon Attack. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, and it's just one of those that, for whatever reason, never got
Right?
released
Yeah.
as a single or whatever.
Yeah. So how did you first get turned on to them, and what makes this one list worthy?
This one, so I was about 12, born in 1968. So I was about 12 years old, and we were at one of my friend's house, and he had a stereo system, and it had little disco lights down the bottom that would go with the music.
Okay. Yeah,
So-
yeah.
So we would just play that thing and we were just, like I said, 12 years old. We were just listening to music, but it was just, like I said, every song was just,
Captivating.
what is,
Yeah.
So it's one of those that just stuck with me as,
Sure.
and of course it's Queen. What are you going to,
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot they can do wrong.
Right. Right.
So it was like one of those, and it was a little different than the classic rock that
Absolutely.
I would,
Yeah.
I was listening to.
How much of their other stuff do you know, studio album wise?
Well, I wouldn't say I have, too many albums, as far, but just their music and hearing their songs
Sure.
and,
Sure.
seeing them on Farm Aid and,
Right.
or Live Aid, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I guess it
Yeah.
was Live Aid.
Yeah.
So it's just, they're just one of those bands that
Yeah.
if he was still around, they'd still be out.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You know,
For sure.
They'd be out just like the Stones are, and they would still be out doing it.
So by the time this movie comes out, I'm pretty well versed with their hits at least.
Yeah.
But Wayne's World, really. I mean, I did know Bohemian Rhapsody before that came out, but holy smokes, did that get just
That just
skyrocketed?
blew- and that got everybody to see what else was there.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
It's like those songs that come out, and We're like, well, what else do they have?
Yeah,
so,
you got some wonderful. I think Freddie on piano in that.
Yeah,
And then Brian May has a solo where he just shreds.
of course the drums.
Yeah, exactly.
Head banging and
one of my favorite stories to tell, probably my only story to tell about that song is coming back from a trip to the Lake of the Ozarks with a friend's family, whoever, and we stopped at a Pizza Hut, and it was like when they, just the red plastic cup and
the
red
the lamps,
yes,
over the
yes. And so we immediately begging for quarters, and there was like a one of those sit down Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man, and a jukebox. And so we played a couple, but I wanted to put some songs on, and I went and I'm, pushing the thing that turns,
so you go to the next one.
and I'm looking down the list, and there I see Queen as the artist name, and then 3 words: Bohemian, RAP, CITY. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. What? Who did
Rap City?
And it made it all the way to the jukebox.
Sure.
And like, wow.
Well,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to shorten it up so it sounds
Well,
like the song.
I think that they just didn't know of the existence of the actual word.
Right.
And nobody, it caught nobody, no proofreader eyes.
Right. And somebody heard it and goes, Bohemian?
Exactly.
Rap City. Well, that's Rap City.
Yeah, right?
Let's put that on.
Right.
There. That'll work. Don't know what we're talking about.
Anyway, really fun record. And we just moved 1 year ahead for number 2 for you, which was Get Lucky, Loverboy. And we mentioned Greatest Hits earlier. I had never seen prior to this a cover of a Loverboy record except for their Greatest Hits, which is called Big Ones.
Yeah.
And it's got like, I don't know, 8 or 9 pictures, and each picture's like large something, and right in the middle is a big set of boobs. This one,
the red leather pants. So my family and I used to travel. We'd drive out to California.
Okay.
I had family out there, so we would get in the motorhome.
Yeah.
And load up and go to California. Well, a couple of later trips was just me going out. So this was my soundtrack for those trips.
Really?
Because this was the only 8-track tape that was in the motorhome.
You took, so the family would go in the motorhome, and then solo, you're in that same motorhome?
Yeah, it'd be just my mom, and at one point it was the whole family, and then as everybody got older and got jobs and other stuff, they'd tail off or whatever. A couple of the last ones was just me and mom and dad and me.
Okay.
And I was back in the back, just on repeat, so to speak.
Wow.
As soon as it would come out, I'd put it back in.
Nice.
Because it was good music, and it was fun stuff to listen to. And
so 2nd of 9 for them, 9 tracks, 45 minutes. Working for the Weekend kicks it off, which everybody knows. But When It's Over, track 2, like I think that's one of their stronger tracks across the board from what I know of theirs. Really good one. And then it seemed as though there was, I don't want to say controversy, but sort of mystery regarding who's wearing the red leather pants.
Yeah. As far as I ever heard, it was the lead singer.
Okay. Well, I saw that. I saw something else. And then there was quite a bit about the photographer hired to do his or her daughter was there. And just a quick snap, and maybe it's the daughter who, as far as I know, has passed away at a pretty young age.
Well, if she's got that hairy arms, I think there's an issue.
You're right. Fair enough.
It may not be all daughter.
Right. So do you know any other Loverboy albums or
man,
just
it's been so long since I've listened to their stuff. It's just, I got so much other things to listen to.
Yeah, of course.
Stuff,
what else did I see? So they're Canadian, and they had, I think, the album recorded and they pitched it to a label or two that were like, nah.
Pass.
And right, and then oops.
And that's, I mean, that happens. I think that happens a lot
Right.
with, well, not only just with just music. I mean, you just got to keep trying different places, and different things. You know, if you got a vision or something and you want it done your way,
right?
You gotta have to.
So odd to think of a label and taking, because either way it's a gamble. Like if you say yes and you spend the money and then it's a flop and you know you lose your, and then if you say no and then it blows up.
Well, and this was back before, you know, all the video, all the YouTubes, all that stuff now that people get out, or TikToks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
This was face to face. Here, listen to my music. Or mailing them out.
Yep.
It was a lot more work to get stuff done.
Yeah. So I think we would move 1 year ahead again. 1982, Rio.
Oh,
Duran.
Man, the videos.
Right.
And the.
Second of 15, 9 tracks, 42 minutes, listed as new wave, which along with the release year, I mean, like this, just really 1982. You know, that genre, the MTV kind of exploding,
and the Pretty Boys,
exactly, and probably no shortage of leather pants, you know, going around.
The makeup, the hair, the bigger hair,
right?
You know.
So how'd this one land in your lap?
I heard a couple of the songs and I was just like, it's like it was completely different than what I'd been listening to.
Right. Yeah.
So, and a lot of that was starting to lean that way. You know, the music was starting to lean.
A lot of synth.
So synthesizer and
probably some fake drums.
Too much. At one point it was too much. So I think
absolutely
that's what happened. It was too much. But yeah, that was it. The glam, the glam stuff and the videos and Hungry Like the Wolf. And, you know,
Grace Slick.
Yeah.
Crawling like through the jungle, like what is going on, man?
That was every 16-year-old boy's dream.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, no, it was the sailboat videos and it was good stuff.
Yeah.
What was the other one? The Photograph. What was that one? Where they were doing the photo shoot. Everybody's walking back and forth and they're doing the photo shoot and doing the video.
The track off of this one?
I think it was.
Let's see here. Rio. We've got title track, My Own Way, Lonely in Your Nightmare, Hungry Like the Wolf, Hold Back the Rain, New Religion, Last Chance on the Stairway, Save a Prayer. Is it that one? The Chauffeur?
Must have been another album.
Well, regardless, they were
for
everywhere a hot minute.
Right. And then it's one of those things where they come back all those years later.
Mm-hmm.
They still put out the music.
Yep.
It's just not as synth.
Right. No. Right.
It's more original.
Yeah.
It's more the way it should be.
So again, like 82, freshly relocated to Atlanta. The only time that we were only there for 3 years, and that was really the only time that we had cable. And so MTV. I mean,
MTV,
I could
when
not.
They played videos.
Yes. Yeah. One of my favorite memes of all time was MTV turns 41 years old today. Thanks for 11 years of music videos.
That's perfect.
But I literally could not get enough. I mean, just plugged into that. And I remember, obviously, the Duran Duran stuff, but I mean, Yes's Owner of a Lonely Heart was a wild one. And Def Leppard's, Photograph, but Rock of Ages was...
it's the videos at that time were just... They were like mini movies, some of them.
Right. That one was for sure.
Yeah.
And
it was so cool.
It was. And, we'd never seen or experienced anything like that before, and it's hard to imagine. I'm sure something will, or maybe it already has, and I'm just not thinking of it. But such a twist in just listening to the radio or your vinyl or your 8-track or whatever to like, here's this whole other story, movie, whatever you want to call it. But I thought that Pyromania was one of the greatest albums, at the time and for a few years after. And Hysteria comes out, which is your next one from 1987, and it's apples and oranges. I mean, they sold 20 million copies and had 7 singles. The music videos still existed, so you had several of those tracks. And it was, I remember feeling weird or like a little bit of shame in coming to the realization that I liked this one better than Pyromania.
Yeah.
But the reason for that is that it's a way better album. I mean, it's 4th of 12 for them, 12 tracks, 62 minutes. Wow. I mean, I could talk for 25 minutes just about the title track. But talk to me about this one for you.
It was, I mean, 1987 was the year I graduated high school. And when we had a group of friends that we'd always, hang out and drive around.
Looking for a party.
Yeah, just hanging out and, taking up space. But I told my group of friends, I was like, this is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be a killer. This is going to be a big album. And it was like, no, it's like, no, it's just, this album is going to be huge. And it's just track after track, man. I put the pop cassette in. I had a 73 Chevy Blazer.
Okay.
And that was the last year they made him where the whole top came off from the windshield all the way back.
Wow.
So it looked like a Jeep. Big Jeep. But, and at the end of the school year, I'd back under the garage and take off a few bolts and take the top off and just leave it off for the whole summer and drive it in the rain and drive it in everything, But it was blaring through the Kenwood 9s back in the back.
Very nice.
Just the stock speakers, but it was as loud as it could go. And I played it I played it a bunch.
Right. And strangely, Pour Some Sugar on Me got heat, but like it was cool for a minute. But
right.
I'm like the opener, Women. That is like an anthem of sorts.
Sure.
Animal, Armageddon.
Animal was one I would loop.
Okay.
I'd go back to.
Nice.
I'd go back to.
I remember seeing this was the second and third that Mutt Lange produced, and the sort of energy or encouragement or coaching or whatever was like, let's take the hard rock that we know you can do and somehow weave pop in. And I think he even said, let's make the Thriller of the Michael Jackson Thriller of rock. And I mean,
it sounds right.
Yeah. It's just really good stuff. Love Bites, absolutely. And this is, of course, this is post the Rick Allen car accident, right? And so they had to reconfigure his kit, and he had to sort of relearn. And
still plays better drums than a lot of people with 2 arms.
Right.
And then Armageddon, that was another one that was.
Yep.
It was just.
For sure.
Anthem-y.
Yeah. Such good stuff.
Yeah.
Any of their other stuff that has been appealing to you, or?
Just as music. I'm not as deep into, finding out all the stuff behind the music.
Sure.
Just if it's good and it's it's a ripper. I just
Nice. Let it rip.
let it go.
Yeah. Nice.
So I mean, yeah, like I said, Pyromania, that was one I'd go back to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it was good stuff.
For sure. So another single year leap, we go from Hysteria in 87 to a curveball with All or Nothing, Milli Vanilli, 1988.
There's a big backstory behind that one.
I'd love to hear it.
So I was working at Unity Village.
Okay.
So this is pretty much out of high school.
Yep.
I started working there, and they had basically I worked, and they have a hotel and cottage.
Mhm.
People come in and stay.
Yeah.
and
Wedding
do their
destination.
they do the little churchy thing, which is, some people it's a cult or, whatever.
Right.
I didn't do anything involved with the church. I
Sure.
worked in the hotel part and had a lot of fun
I bet.
out there. And we had 2 crews of people that would work, and we hired this one guy that came in, and as soon as he was there, it was like we shared a brain.
Oh, funny.
I mean, we connected, big time. So they were going to have a company picnic,
Okay.
and they were going to do a talent show. So we got together and go, let's do a talent show thing. It's like, okay, what do you want to do? And he goes, I don't know, man. I don't know. And I said, well, let's lip sync Milli Vanilli.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we had hot pink shirts. It's 87, 88.
Yeah,
it's
of course.
okay. And then we had bicycle shorts
Okay.
to go with it.
Yeah.
And my thing was I always had pink laces in my Reeboks.
Really?
Yeah, I had high top Reeboks and I had pink laces.
Okay.
They weren't always tied, which
Of course,
that's
part of the look.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
But so we got ready. We rehearsed and everything. And the day of the picnic, it stormed all day.
No kidding.
No picnic.
Oh man.
So we ended up performing it for the people we work with.
Wow. Courageous.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome.
It was a good time, and whenever they got busted and everything, I was just like, oh man.
So what? I'm glad you said that. What? I mean, they're okay. So it gets So this is 88. First of 3 for them. 13 tracks,
Right.
51 minutes. It gets repackaged and retitled as "Girl, You Know It's True." And there maybe was a sticker put on there that said, "Here are some of the folks that are sampled."
Yeah.
Uh,
So basically, what they did was their live shows were lip synced,
Okay.
and I think one of the tapes stopped, and they were still performing.
Yep.
That's how they got busted. So then they tried to. Then they did the reboot,
Okay.
and then they even put out an album that was them. The guys
Right.
that were actually
Right. Yeah.
yeah, Rob and
Fav or
yeah. So they even put out it's like, yeah, we can sing, and they
Couldn't.
couldn't. They didn't make it.
So, I mean, but there's, what? Okay, so you're lip syncing,
So we were lip syncers.
right? Well, what track did you pick
Um,
to do for your skit?
Don't forget my number.
Okay, that's a good one. I mean,
Yep.
don't forget my number, girl. You know it's true, and I'm gonna miss you. My sister she was
Yep.
bumping them.
All or Nothing was another one.
Okay. So, but it's also, so there's the lip sync thing, which is kind of, so who was singing? Was it actually
There
them?
there was a band. There was the band, and there was a
Okay,
whole bunch of people
okay.
that did the music, and these guys were the front. They were the ones that sold the music because of the look and
Right.
the dancing,
The high five and
right?
the,
all that stuff. So that was what sold it, was them.
So there's the lip syncing piece, but there's also sampling stuff. Like listening to this to get like 2 or 3 times you hear the cash register from Pink Floyd's Money.
Money, yeah.
Which-
and that's the name of the song. is Money.
Okay.
So
And then there was maybe the final track had some very recognizable sample, which escapes me right now, but I didn't see anything about, you would think like Roger Waters would be
Right.
like, absolutely not. I didn't see anything about them but also a year after this you get Beastie Boys' Paul's Boutique, which was kind of the cliff of like
Right.
the $1 million record, the record that could never be made again because of all, but they got away with it. And then it was after that. So I guess maybe this falls under that same umbrella. I don't know.
Yeah, and the other thing is they got their Grammy taken away.
Ooh, right.
'Cause they
Bummer.
had a Grammy for that album, and they got it taken away because they
Wasn't
didn't
them.
sing. Yeah, it was just like, and I think Fab. Oh, I can't remember how many years afterward he committed suicide.
Yeah, one of them for sure
Yeah.
did.
So, I mean, it was. I mean, I'm sure it was rough to live with that.
I bet.
You know.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. They were just poppy,
Yep.
feel good
Yep.
songs.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
and
Absolutely.
that's the thing with I mean, I listen to pretty much anything. I mean, of course, in the '80s, I had my rap and
Yep.
the Dr. Dre,
Yeah.
and the Chronic, and
Of course.
those and Nelly and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I mean, I can't. I mean, I don't listen to rap all the time.
Right.
I mean, you got Eminem out there, but I've done country, I did pop, I did
Yeah.
all that stuff. So
Well,
it's just I just like this album.
it was
good.
one of those
fun.
one of those deals where my sister has it and she's playing it a lot, and I'm developing my collection and my tastes and being like, this is garbage. Don't listen to this, but also I kind of dig it.
Yeah, you kinda catch yourself
don't
tapping.
tell anybody. Yeah,
Got
exactly.
a little headbang going on. That
The
nod.
last little funny tidbit about it was Q magazine included it in 2006 as one of the 50 worst albums ever made. I was like, what a
They don't know anything. They don't know.
exactly. Also, like, what a jerk list to create. Like,
Of
what
course.
is
Well, they have to.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
But of course, that just makes people fight them. That just makes people argue about it. Well, that's
For
not
sure.
the worst one. This is the worst one.
So I mentioned that you gave me your list, and then you had an add-on, which was kind of a curveball to the curveball, a big leap forward all the way to 2013 with the 2020 Experiment, Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Which I know JT's stuff as much as one would expect. Big hit here, big
Right.
hit there, but never took a look. And so this is a 2-part
Yeah.
album that he put out in 2013. The first one was March 15th. The other one was September 27th, making them albums 3 and 4 out of 5 for him.
Yeah.
The first one, 70 minutes, 10 tracks. The other, 74 minutes, 11 tracks. I didn't even know this thing existed. But he's not very far from a student of his stuff. I feel like he almost commands respect in a lot of different ways. I mean, tell me about him.
Oh, I would say it was a guy crush.
Okay. Fair
I mean,
enough.
I love watching him. I love listening to his stuff.
Yep.
He's funny.
He's got pipes. He is
Yeah,
funny.
he's-
He's got range.
Yeah, and there was he did one with Chris Stapleton.
Okay.
He did that song with Drink You Away.
Uh-huh.
And I can't remember what Chris was singing, but they kind of went together at one of the award shows.
Oh, nice.
And it was just, so that got me into Chris Stapleton. And that was another
Cool.
one that's just,
Cool.
I mean, Chris Stapleton taught himself how to play guitar.
Wow.
He had one lesson and then he stopped going. So, but anyway, no, he's just I just love listening to his stuff.
Sure.
It's like you said, it's different.
Yeah.
There's some rap in it.
Mhm.
There's some
Pop.
some regular pop.
Yep.
There's, some rocky kind of stuff
Mhm.
in there. It's just, I mean, it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I like it.
Yeah, he. I mean, what? SNL,
yeah.
Jimmy Fallon.
Omeletville, bring it on down to Omeletville.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I mean, it's
he-
hilarious.
One of the biggest tracks from I think the original Trolls
Oh yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Which came out when my kids were still pretty little and way into that. I mean, like I said, for me, he just
Yeah, he's
kind of commands respect.
yeah, he's got. I mean, he's way talented.
Nice.
And he could the producing thing and
yeah,
all that stuff.
Absolutely.
He's there.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking on the way over here, too, about getting into music and everything. And one of the, I know I didn't tell you about it, but Sonic Highways by the Foo Fighters.
Oh, okay.
They went to different cities and interviewed the people in the music business there.
Really?
And then he writes a song. Dave Grohl writes a song about it during the week that they're there.
Seriously?
You should. I mean, if you haven't checked it out,
I haven't.
You should.
Sonic Highways.
Sonic Highways. Yep.
Wow.
And they do New Orleans. They do Washington D.C. Of course, they do Seattle. They do L.A. And they get people to come in and play on the tracks.
Oh wow.
With them.
Nice.
So in L.A., they're out at the Joshua Tree.
Okay.
Recording out there, and Joe Walsh comes out and plays.
Nice.
Dude. Yeah, you should check it out. I mean,
so
that got me.
That's actually that's a Foo Fighters studio album.
Yeah.
And so is it early? Is it late? Or is it in the middle of their discography? Do you know?
I think it's more late.
Okay, so they've done a few, and this is this is the new thing that we're going to try.
Yeah, and a lot of people have wanted to do more cities.
I bet.
But I don't know, with Taylor being gone, I don't know what they're going to. I mean, they're out touring, so they're going to be doing it. So
yeah,
they may do it again, but yeah, it's. I mean,
cool.
I'll
have to check it out.
It's really good, and like I said, it got me. And they do Nashville or Memphis, and they kind of write the song based on
the identity of the city.
The music is.
Okay,
yeah, the city.
Cool,
Nice. It's really good, and that got me into Foo Fighters, which that ended up being like three. We did like 3 concerts. We did 2 in Kansas City, and then we went to Tulsa.
Okay.
We went to Wichita, and then we went to Tulsa.
What's the venue in Tulsa?
Was it the Bach Center?
Okay, and then here was
Sprint Center.
Okay.
Twice, and then or maybe it was the Bach Center in Wichita. I can't remember what it was.
Right.
I mean, of course, you go to one of those shows.
I've heard their live shows are fantastic.
They are.
But, across the board, people seem to.
Yeah, but I would almost say that 2 of the 3 shows were the same.
Oh,
it's one of those things where they always, they got to do Pretender, which as soon as that's done, I can go. I'm good. That song that's a barn burner beyond barn burners.
Right.
For me. But yeah, they do their show, and when I saw one of them in Kansas City, he was still in the throne because he had his ankle broke.
Oh.
He broke his ankle in one of the shows, and then they're like, I'm not going to stop touring. And he goes, you're going to build me a throne. And they did. They built him a throne, and it would slide out at the end of the stage, and he was sitting there just playing and singing. But yeah, that and it was videos too. There's like a
live
videos
footage
to go with it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So that's one you definitely should check that out.
It was I think it was last summer. I was super, super excited to see The War on Drugs and went and saw them at Grinders. And it was fun. It wasn't amazing. But I was glad I went, and then I knew several tracks, and there were some I didn't, so I was like doing the Setlist FM, looking, and I finally there was some lag until there are a few dates down the road before stuff starts getting populated, and I looked, and it's like same set list every single night, and I'm like,
yeah,
really?
Yeah,
like how boring for both performer and
that's the thing. I was just like, they've got to do Hero.
Yeah.
They've got to do Pretender.
Yep.
They got to do Learning to Fly.
Yep.
There's songs that they have to do at every show.
Yeah.
And I mean, I see that point where it was just like, oh, we got to do this song again, But and that's the other thing why Dead and Company or Grateful Dead, Fish.
Yeah.
There's so many different songs that they do. You could see 6 or 7 shows in a row and not see the same song.
Well, Fish just wrapped a 7-night run at MSG, which in 2017 they did the Baker's Dozen, which was 13 shows, 267 no repeats each night, themed to a donut. Made from some Philadelphia company.
Nice.
And we went and I saw 2 of them. I ended up seeing Jam Filled, which amongst many other pieces of greatness had an absolutely barn burner cover of 1999. I mean, like I got goosebumps,
Wow.
right? Like I was like, this is where the roof comes off. Like that's where that saying comes from because it was so fun. And then the other one was powdered. So like there was a Fleet Foxes cover, anything that White Snow. I mean, they did a cover of Powderfinger by Neil Young, which is an old crazy horse.
Yeah,
I mean,
no doubt.
God, it was incredible.
Wow.
But still, what are you gonna get?
Right? Yeah.
Which I love as opposed to I'm chasing. It's like I've seen 14 Dead and Company, but I'm still chasing. It's like, dude, it's not. That's not it. And it took me a long while. I've got first weekend of August last year, I saw Fish in Atlantic City on the beach 3 nights in a row.
Nice.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, just in the sand, in the ocean, and then party on the boardwalk all night, and venue, little bars are blasting.
Right.
But it took me a while to realize that it's not about chasing songs or hoping you get whatever, and it's not even about the whole show. It's really about the folks that you go with and the whole trip, the whole everything about it makes contributes to to my experience at a show.
Right, and that's what I always tell. I mean, because I tell people all the time, I say, you go to concerts all day long, but like if you go to Fish or if you go to Dead and Company, it's an experience.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
It's not just a concert.
Right.
It's the shakedown before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's the walking through the parking lot. It's talking. It's seeing guys that you've seen at other shows somewhere.
Yeah.
And then it's the show, and then drum circles afterwards, or going back down through Shakedown Street. It's just. I mean, it's.
I like. Getting some food from a vendor, on Shakedown or even an official, and then just kind of walking around and taking it all in.
Yeah.
I even like going out to a restaurant near the venue where you get a little bit of spill in from other hungry and just checking folks out. And
we hit the show, man.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Exactly.
That's like when we did when we were at the Hale show.
Oh yeah.
In Boulder, we were driving back to the Airbnb, and one of my wife's touring buddies came out, and so we got to be pretty close. We were driving along, and we were like, we're hungry, man. So we stopped in at IHOP.
Yeah.
And there was one waitress in there, and we come in, and we're like wet dogs.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
And so we're sitting there, and she's like, I'll be with you as soon as I can. I was like, it's okay, we're just we just need to get something,
Yeah.
So she comes right back out with our drinks, takes our order, we're like, it's just one person there, like it's gonna be. She comes right back out with our food, and it was the best food I think I've ever eaten. Nice. I don't know if it was just the whole experience,
right,
or any kind of stuff that could have happened at the show.
Sure, yeah.
But it was some of the best food, and it was just. And there'd be other people coming in, they were in tie-dyes or concert shirts. Oh, man,
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, it travels.
Yeah.
Just around here, even people.
Yeah.
I see people with, some of the Deadhead stickers on their car or whatever. And it's out there.
We ended up going, my primary show buddy and I ended up going to Atlantic City because we did the first 10 years of Dick's. 3-night Labor Day, and it was like 1 through, and he lived here for a while, so we would drive out and camp, and then he moved to Charleston, so now we fly, hotel, blah blah blah.
Right. And glamping.
Yeah. So the COVID year didn't happen, so year 10 would have been year 11 anyway.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, we literally laid around in our hotel room, and the U.S. Open was on, so we napped and watched tennis, walk across the parking lot to a Chipotle, and come back, shower, nap, and then go to the show. And then each of the 3 nights, 2 years ago now, we went out for food. And the first night we went to a Twin Peaks, which I had never been to before. And it was really late, and it was like they had already made cuts, so skeleton crew, because they're
Right.
not going to be open too much longer. But I mean, there were two girls behind the bar that were, I mean, to me, they seemed like they were 13. And I just wanted to be like, can you put on a flannel,
Right,
and
like,
there's
cover
across
up a little.
on the other side are little, like regular A, regular B, just older dudes that are by themselves and probably in there all the time and tipping
Right.
super
Oh,
heavily.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it was like we ate and it's like let's
Well,
go.
Let's go.
And then the
This is
next
uncomfortable for me.
the next night we stumbled across a Denny's. And I was like, "Oh, bro, like let's
Moon's
go."
over my hammy.
Yeah, the Super Bird. Yeah. And so we go in, and they are not slow. It is kind of busy, and somebody's kind of bouncing between manning the host stand and some other responsibility, and
Right.
they give us a like, "Hey, I see you," which I had 20 years in that business myself. If you don't greet in the first 2 minutes,
It's a bad experience.
you've lost them.
Yeah.
And that can be a wave, a hey folks, be right with you.
Right. Anything. Just acknowledgement.
Yep.
Is,
Yeah. If you just, But anyway, so she, and seats us, and then it comes pretty clear that like they're short servers too. So our server comes over and she's doing the perfect mix of I am so slammed right now and I'm going to be polite.
Right.
And I was like, hey, we just need food. It doesn't matter how long, we're going to be fine. So
Right.
don't stress over us. Get to us when you can get to us. Also, is anybody else coming in?
Right.
Because I guarantee you,
There's going to be more people.
and I am telling you, there was like by the time we, paid and there was like
Yeah.
40 people standing. And they were just like terrified.
Oh, I'm sure.
But like it was all show people.
right.
And it was all good vibe, and I was kind of like, don't,
Yeah.
just do your best.
Just,
2 tables at a time, 2 tickets at whatever.
they're not going to realize how long you take.
Yeah, and most of them are probably going to be polite.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, that's the other thing about the
community,
about the dead shows.
yeah,
It's the community. It's everybody's got that vibe.
yep. Yep.
It's just
Well, so you threw 2020 experience on, and then shouts out to Sonic Highways, Foo Fighters. Any others that you want to give shouts out to?
not that I can think of at the moment.
Okay. Well, I've got a collection of goofy questions to wrap up. Maybe
All right.
may have come. I need to add because I'm using the same ones over and over again. But first one, you can visit your past self at any age. What age are you choosing? And if you're saying anything, what are you saying?
Well, I mean, I was married for 20 years,
Wow. Okay.
and I got good kids out of it.
I'm right there with you. 11. I think I was married for 11 and I got good kids out of it, but
The other
thank
part-
God I'm not married to that person
yes,
anymore.
Yes. So it might be really think about it.
Mm.
I mean, but you don't know what's gonna happen
Right.
after that.
Right.
So
Interesting. And you
if I
said
could, if
right
I
out
could-
of high school, basically?
pretty
Yeah.
much right out of high school. So it was like dating and then going out and then getting married.
Yep.
I mean, it was part of the process.
Yeah, of course.
So, and it was anyway. That's
right.
I don't want to go on too far.
Maybe
about
think
that.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. So you're given the ability to have lunch with anyone you choose, dead or alive. Who and why?
I mean, with the whole Dead Company and Bob Weir and that, I would almost like to have. I would like to have lunch with him.
Bobby Weir?
Yeah.
The Lorax?
Yes, the Lorax. Well, we saw him before when he came to Kansas City with Chris Robinson
Oh.
from Black Crowes. They did a thing down at Grinders,
Okay.
and my wife took me to that as kind of a slow introduction into the Grateful Dead.
And?
and it was a really good show.
Nice.
It was good, and I would like to go back or have lunch with him now and ask him, at 16 years old, you're sitting there with Jerry and your parents, and they're telling you can go, but you have to get educated. How long did you think you were going to do it?
Right.
And did you think you'd be doing it this long? That would, just to have that. Did he think it was just going to be a couple years and then be done?
Right.
Or, what? Where was the point where he's like, I'm just going to do this forever?
Mm-hmm.
Is it one of those things where you just keep doing it because you do it?
Well, he's, I love, a lot of bands have, or a lot of musicians have their carpet, as part of their spot on the stage. His has always stood out to me as like it's appealing looking. It looks comfy, and I love that he's a Birkenstocks guy, and he'll sometimes start in his Birks and then finish barefoot.
Barefoot, yeah.
I've seen
a lot of them do barefoot. Even O'Teal's been barefoot a couple times up there.
Yeah, well, he's just happy. He's the happiest human being.
Yeah.
And I've seen like Instagram posts where he's like, he stays fit, like he does yoga
and working out, doing the ropes and
it's just like
medicine ball and all
the
that
ageless
stuff.
Bob Weir.
And then you could, as part of that conversation would be, do you think somebody would be looking at you on their phone watching you work out?
Yeah, exactly.
How would you?
Yeah, I don't know.
So I would like to find out what he was thinking.
Sure.
At 16, how long he was going to do it, and then what does he think about everything that's happened since then?
Yeah, probably say it turned out all right.
Yeah, I think it turned out okay.
Yeah. So the Chris Robinson thing, and then Wolf Brothers. Did you catch any?
Oh yeah, we've seen the Wolf Brothers. We've seen them. We actually went to Chicago.
Okay.
And we had tickets for Tedeschi Trucks here in Kansas City, but they also did this. We went and got the Bob Weir tickets, and it was the same.
Oh man,
it was the same night.
Okay,
so we sold the Tedeschi, went up to I think it was 2 nights in Chicago.
Okay,
I think it was Halloween was one night.
Fun.
And November 1st.
Good stuff.
Fox Theater. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Good. And we've seen him a couple other
Okay.
places. Down at the Arvest Bank Theater.
Mm-hmm. Midland.
Yeah. We saw him there
recently, like this year, maybe, right?
Or this
past
we had
winter.
Friends actually come down from the people in Noblesville.
Okay,
that we met. They
cool.
came down and went to the show with us.
Nice.
And then we also go see Brett Floyd up there.
Nice. Have you listened to any solo Weir stuff?
Not a lot.
Okay,
just a little bit of it.
I gotta look it up just so I don't do it injustice, but. Let's see here.
Well, I don't know if you've ever done Brett Floyd or.
I'm not familiar.
Floyd. Oh,
Brett Floyd.
Brett Floyd. They are the utmost Pink Floyd
cover band.
Okay. They do the whole show. The laser light, the disco ball comes down, everything at the Midland. You go see it.
Okay.
You will not be disappointed.
Same set lists.
They do. Well, they do, but they do the show well.
Okay.
I would go see it. I'd go see 5 shows in a row if they were doing
Blue Mountain from 2016.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard some of that. Yeah.
Oh my! I don't think there's any skips. I think it's all. It's all fantastic. Yeah, really,
it's good stuff. It's good. It's good. It's good calming.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's veggie music.
Okay, complete this for me if you would, please. The world would immediately become a better place in which to live if only.
If only people's feelings didn't get hurt over every little thing.
I'm offended that's your answer.
I'm
kidding.
I could say something.
Right. Yeah.
It's and I had a guy the other day, we were talking about this, and he goes, it's a participation trophy.
Mm-hmm.
It's everybody's a winner.
Yeah.
But
golly. Yeah.
You gotta have hard knocks.
Yeah, you do.
Absolutely. And this, I think it also goes with the timeouts.
Right.
Timeout. You sit over there and you think about what you. No, You tell them no. If they do it again, a little whack. That's it.
There you go.
You got to have a boundary. They got to know that there's something that happens wrong if they do something bad again.
Well,
But that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Don't cancel me for it.
No, gosh. Where else are we going to get cool stickers? Come on.
No doubt.
So I agree. And I think it's ultimately a good thing that to realize some of life's most important lessons, it takes a while.
Right.
It takes a while to get to a point where you're mature enough to sort of invest yourself in something independently
Right.
and see it go wrong. It takes a while beyond that to be able to look back on it and go, I see. Instead of just, it's not,
Right.
you know.
Oh, it's not fair.
So,
oh my God,
but
it's not
so
fair.
like the getting to who you are at, your age right now or my age right now, you don't learn like that, mistakes are some of the biggest impetus for learning.
Right. Yeah.
And now, next time, doesn't have to be that exact thing.
Right.
Something you can draw a parallel to and be like, maybe think about it.
Right.
The answer to your first question.
I touched that burner.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I don't do that again.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it just, you're never going to, in my opinion, you're never going to grow or improve or expand if you don't have some gaffes along the way. Yeah.
You gotta have blood running down your leg from climbing over a fence you shouldn't have climbed over.
Yeah, exactly. Or it says do not touch electric fence. What is
What does that mean?
I now know for the rest of my life. Yeah.
I should take their word
Yeah.
for it.
You find out tomorrow, however it comes to be, inheritance, lottery, whatever, you have $85 million tax-free. What is your first move?
Wow. So with the Powerball and the Lotto, that stuff that's been going around, we've given this a lot of thought.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know if the Below Deck, the show Below Deck.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So it's a cruise ship. It's like a 150-footer or something like that. And there's deck crew and then there's the interior crew, and people come on and they give them, $100 and some odd $1,000 to rent this boat for like 4 days.
Okay.
5 days. So one of the chefs on there, his name's Ben.
Okay.
And he's English.
Okay.
And he's come out recently and was talking about how he played soccer with Prince William and the royal family and stuff. So, but he's really down to earth.
Okay.
And he makes awesome food.
Okay.
So first, he would come and cook us dinner, and then we buy a big motorhome.
Okay.
And a trailer with a vehicle on it.
There you go.
And we have no physical address.
Dude.
We're gone. We go wherever we want to go, and we do whatever we want to do, whenever we want to do it.
Absolutely.
And at the time, with the touring, we were just like show to show to show to show. We didn't. Who cares?
Your biggest worry is where am I parking this thing tonight?
Exactly.
Everything else is gravy.
Yep.
So the ultimate live music experience for Duke Ross is what? I mean,
one I've experienced already, or
no, just like what, when you commit, like you wound up with tickets to 2 different shows on the same date.
Right.
Both of those are commitment. You're making we're doing this. Maybe there's travel involved. Maybe folks are coming in and staying with you, whatever. And then, the date comes, you have the show. It doesn't matter the band but what really says, man, that was worth it. I'm going to keep going down this live music path.
Well, one of the places that we actually got to see a show at was Red Rocks.
And
it was Dead and Company. They did 2 nights there.
Really? When?
Yeah, that was when was it? I actually put it on my because I did a list of shows, so I was going back to see how many shows I'd seen.
Okay.
and I was anywhere from 35 to 40 shows we've seen since 2017.
Of Dead and Company.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So it was. Let me get that pulled up here real quick. It was October 19th and 20th of 2021.
Okay.
They were shows that were added
Mm.
because there was a break. There was a show on the 18th, and then the next one was Denver.
Okay.
Fiddler's Green.
Fiddlers. Yeah.
And so they added those two shows
Mm.
at Red Rocks before. So we were already going to Denver to see that show. So we just added the Airbnb, and the Airbnb that we had for Denver for that show was literally like a block away.
Oh man.
So, but we drove to Red Rocks,
Yep.
got that show, and then did those back and forth, and it's an amazing place to see a
For
show.
sure.
So
Now.
it would probably be there.
Okay.
Now it would either be Dead and Company, or it would be, if we could go anytime,
Of course.
Pink Floyd.
Okay.
At Red
Nice.
Rocks.
Oh yeah,
I
man.
mean, Brit Floyd can light up Red Rocks, but if it was Pink Floyd at Red Rocks, that would be the ultimate,
Cool. Very
all-time
cool.
experience.
Is that the only time Dead Company's played Red Rocks?
I think so.
And why would that not be a regular?
I
guess
I wish I could tell you.
maybe it's too small. 9,000 people.
Could be.
I mean, because
It'd sell out pretty quick.
yeah, because Folsom Field's obviously a college
Right.
football venue, and Deer Creek is
You had the-
larger. So maybe
Right.
that's
And
why.
you had the floor, and you had the floor at
Right,
the stadium,
right.
to the stadium seating.
Yeah, okay.
It'd be awesome if they do Arrowhead, but for some reason they never want to come back to Kansas City. I don't know what it is.
Huh.
But one of my sisters, her and her boyfriend went out to, at the time, Sandstone,
Yep.
to see the Grateful Dead.
In '89 or no?
I don't know what year it was.
Okay.
But their experience was, before they even got out of the car, a guy was tapping on their window wanting to know if they bought any acid.
Oh.
And I said, "Did you?"
Mhm.
And she says, "No."
Right.
Stupid.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it was. So they were like, they went for like, I think they went into the show for like an hour, and then they
Not for
just
them.
couldn't handle it. Yeah.
Okay.
So-
I mean, it's not for everybody.
You're right. It's not.
So, well,
And a lot of people get the wrong impression too.
Yeah.
I had a guy that told me, he goes, "I don't know if I could listen to a 13-minute song."
Mm.
I'm like, "You can." I
You
said,
can,
"You're a Rush
yeah.
fan, right?"
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
Kurt
that's-
so he goes off on a drum solo for 8 or 9 minutes, and they
Mhm.
sing the rest of the song. You're not going to be okay with that?
Well, that's for years. I mean, my first Fish show was in June of '94 at Red Rocks, and have seen 79 more since.
Right.
And I'll be at the end of this month. I'll be back out and seeing them again.
Right on.
But across whatever that is, 30 years, that's been the most common go-to. Their songs last forever. 19-minute, and it's like, why is that? First of all, it's always an exaggeration.
Right.
Like, not every song is, and why is that negative? Is it because the album stamp is
Right.
10 tracks and they're all 3:45 or whatever, and then it's got to be X length to
Right.
get on the radio,
And
and
you
so
just get into the song and it's over.
yeah.
know?
So
I like the ones where you are listening and you look at the person you went to the show with and go, "What song did we start with?" Those are the good
Yeah.
jams, man.
jam-filled night at MSG during the Baker's Dozen.
Oh, I
They came out and opened with a tune called Lawn Boy. It's the title track off of their second record, and it's maybe 3 minutes long, 4 or 5 minutes long, and it's real slow and loungy, and it's the Paige McConnell on keyboards. He's singing, and it's just an interesting little
Sure.
ditty. And they come out, and he's got a guitar,
Nice.
And so you get this, wah, 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 and it's 27 and a half minutes long.
Oh my God. Wow.
And all of it was
Kurt.
really
Oh,
fun
yeah.
and funky and
Yeah.
cool. And by the end of the run, the 13-night run, the running joke was, "Is this still On Boy?"
Right. They started with it, and then
You're
ran
right.
the end of the
Yeah.
show with end
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
end of the Baker's Dozen with the end of the,
Yeah.
the last verse.
Well, listen, man, that's all I got for you. I really appreciate you being here. I don't know if you have anything to plug. If you want to hype up your sticker purchasing,
Oh yeah.
folks.
Well, I mean, I got to get those.
You gotta get 'em
I got to
done.
get them ordered so I can put them back
Okay.
on either Kansas City Deadheads.com or Facebook page, or even Midwest.
KansasCityDeadheads.com.
Not .com, but on the Facebook.
Oh,
page,
on the Facebook
Kansas City,
group.
Kansas City
Gotcha.
Deadheads Facebook group, and then Midwest Deadheads. Also,
Okay.
I think I may do more Midwest Deadheads because it covers a better group.
Sure.
More. People.
Now, even though I have two, and one's on my pole and one's on my fridge, I can't picture it right this very second. But it's a very attractive. Describe it for me, if you would.
Well,
please.
you got the Steely.
Yep.
In the middle, and then I don't know if you've seen the KCMO stickers they've got. It's got the little
Yes,
cross in
that's
it.
right.
So one going across is the bolt, and the other cross is just the line. And then around the outside, of course, it's red, white, and blue. Around the outside, it says Kansas City Deadheads, and KCDH is the initials inside.
That's
instead
right.
of KCMO.
That's right. And so, how did you create that? Did you have to go to a?
I mean, I basically took the KCMO and kind of just wrote it up, and then had a buddy of mine just kind of put it together. Oh, actually, it was Grateful Sweats. Steve Dubinsky. He does all.
You know him?
Yeah.
I've messaged him a bunch of times,
yeah.
and I don't think he's read any of them, or maybe he hasn't
Yeah,
received them.
He kind of put it together,
Okay.
and then kind of wanted to go a different direction with it than I did. So I just got the sticker and had him made. And
Cool.
But yeah, you just got to get I mean, there's so many places that make stickers. Just come up with your design.
Right.
I mean, I've even gone out to Lawrence. There's a place there that do print T-shirts and stuff right downtown, and they'll make stickers.
What's that
for
place
you
called?
Because
I've back in my restaurant, I used a company out of Lawrence that would do T-shirts for our kitchen guys and custom growlers.
Oh, okay.
And all kinds of merch.
Yeah,
and they were fantastic.
Probably them. They're right there on the corner.
And they've been around. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
it's been there a
talking
long
back
time.
to early 2000s.
I don't know how long they've been there, but it looks like they've been there a long time. But yeah, they do. You can go in and order a T-shirt. And they'll make it deal. But,
Nice.
And they sent off some stickers for me to have made for Mexico. The pits. It's basically red and yellow, or red, white, and green.
Okay.
The Mexican color.
Yeah.
The same kind of thing. PITS. All that. And they kind of balked a little bit about making it at first because it was a Grateful Dead. They didn't want to cross it. And I said, I'm giving them away. I'm not selling them. It's free.
Cool.
It's just a trade
Yeah.
thing. So they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they just made them, but they were a big hit. So
Nice.
because down at Pitts they have the what I called hippie Halloween.
Oh.
Where you just kind of go with your bag down through stuff, and everybody throws stuff in, and you give stuff out, and everybody
Nice.
just comes back
Love
with
it.
a suitcase full of all kinds of stuff.
Cool.
But yeah, no, it's and they're vinyl last,
Mhm.
they're UV protected.
Yep.
They're not.
Yep.
They're a good sticker. I mean,
Yeah.
they're gonna last a long time if they're outside.
Well, I'll definitely scoop.
And I got to get them. I got to get them remade so I can get some more out there.
There you go. I
want to see them going down the street.
Yeah, I'll get a couple more. And really appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you asking me out here.
Cool.
This is really this is a good deal.
If you wind up swapping communication with Steve,
Okay.
let him know if you don't mind that
Sure.
I would love to ask him to
Okay.
come do one,
Yeah, no
or
problem.
anybody else for that matter.
Okay.
We need to get a pic of you for your thumbnail and
Okay.
do whatever selfie thing. And should be a weekish from now, and
Okay.
I'll fire it your way when it's out. And
Right on.
appreciate it.
No problem,
All right,
brother.
man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.